So I'm assuming, so the last paper was written at the end of August of 2012. This one is at the top of September 2012. So I'm guessing we had to continue on in more depth. So here's the second paper on the Declaration of Independence, or my summary, my understanding, interpretation of the document at that time. The Declaration of Independence was not created to only express the colonists' desires of freedom from Great Britain. Additionally, it served to acknowledge rights and privileges that many felt had been violated. Whether these violations were conceived in malice or ignorance does not justify the state of turmoil the people felt. In an effort to justify their desires, they had to first acknowledge that each individual has God given rights and that no system of government has the authority to infringe on them. Based on his previous decisions, it was obvious that King George III did not hold this belief in high esteem. So we're going to get into some scripture here because again, this is a faith-based university that I was attended. So we had to incorporate what was it called? A Christian worldview. And keep in mind, I'm not clergy. At this time, I am a student who is reading and studying, interpreting the literature and writing from that perspective. So the scripture I used was Romans 13:1, and it states, "Everyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authority comes from God, and those in positions of authority have been placed there by God." While it is, and then end of the scripture. While it is true that God indeed allowed King George III to sit in a position of authority, that does not necessarily mean that the king will always make righteous decisions. Just like all of his constituents, he too is human, and no human is without sin. His repeated alienation of others' God given rights is a complete contradiction of God's desires. Therefore, the colonists were left with no other choice but to leave a system of government that they believed was no longer serving God's will. While many may have considered it blasphemous to rebel against the leadership, the true blasphemy was the repeated violations caused from such a respected power. Because of this, many considered the king to be an unjust ruler. All right, so we're going to cut here, and I'll come back with the next part of this same paper.